Call the meeting to order. Would you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here this morning. I wanted to note that I've talked to Augie about encouraging, we're going to send a letter out here in a week or two encouraging department heads and elected officials to try to attend one of our meetings. They have 3 opportunities a month, and we would sure like to have them understand what we're doing, and we'd like to understand better what they are doing. So just wanted to note that. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Ellis.
Yes, here.
Farnham.
Here.
Lawton.
Here.
Ludington.
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
Bruner.
Yes.
Voigt.
Here. Next item on the business is to approve the regular meeting minutes of October 12th, 22. Did I miss something? Oh, you were smiling, so I thought. Oh, okay.
Wasn't me.
Are you still entertaining the troops out
Yes,
there?
he is.
All right.
Trying to get through the day.
Did you go to breakfast this morning over there?
No.
Okay, that probably was a great thing not to do.
Well, we gotta get even somehow.
Can I have a motion to approve those minutes? You sure, Lud?
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
Lud and Russ, do you have any questions about the minutes or anything you'd like to add or subtract? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. It is carried, the minutes are approved. Claims against the county. You've had those in your possession for a little bit. Are there any questions or clarifications needed? Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve. Russ moves. Andy seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. They are approved. County Board members' claims. Any questions or clarifications needed on that? Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve. Russ moves. Andy seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Now we come to the portion of the meeting where we ask the public for their comments. We ask that you identify yourself and limit your remarks to 5 minutes if you can. Are there any public comments today? Hearing none, we'll move along to highway resolution authorizing the chairman to sign a supplemental BLR 05530 with Midwest Engineering and Testing for the Lower Terre Haute Road shoulders. Is there any questions on that? Do you want to review that sort of what I think we talked about that Monday morning? Do you want any clarifications or just a general description of what we're doing? Okay, motion to approve the resolution. Andy moves, Russ seconds. Further discussion? Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Ellis.
Yes.
Farnham.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
And Bruner.
Yes.
Okay, you have approved that
You
resolution.
got 2 phones.
Next resolution is authorizing responsible agencies to post roads to 10 tons effective January 1st, 23 through April 5th of 23. Any further discussion? We had a little bit of discussion and clarification on that Monday morning. Is there a motion to approve that resolution? Dan moves. Andy seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Ellis.
Yes.
Farnham.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
And Bruner.
Yes.
Okay, it is carried. Okay, the final one is approval for the Highway Department to obtain a credit card from Prospect Bank for business expenses. We had a discussion on that. Is there any further discussion on that issue?
Could you That was that meeting, I was a touch late, could you just give me a quick synopsis, like in 10 seconds?
Basically, for certificates and things that they need to buy or pay for over the phone, they're having issues with that. That's the main thing,
Makes sense, okay.
all right?
Yep.
Motion to approve. Russ, Andy,
Lisa,
do we want to do a resolution on that?
Just jump in.
Or I mean, a roll call?
Well, we don't have one prepared,
No,
but
that's
I
fine.
can call it if you'd like me to.
No, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. I just didn't want to get corrected again because I forgot. Okay, next is an important resolution to approve the placing of the budget and the levy for fiscal year beginning December 1st, 22nd through November 30th of 23. We put that on display and we'll final pass it on the 23rd of this month. So are there any questions? I know some of you called me or texted me with questions, and I appreciate that. Are there any further issues that we need to discuss before we place this on display? I did get a chance to call the health department and let them know what we were doing with the levy, and they understood and appreciated it, so I guess we'll call the roll.
Well, you need a motion.
Oh, yes, motion, please. Do I have a motion? Russ moves. Lund seconds. Okay, anything else?
Lisa,
Mr. Clerk?
Ellis,
Lisa.
Yes.
Farnham,
Yes.
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
and Bruner.
Yes.
Okay, that is carried, thank you. We're gonna skip over 10 for a few minutes and go to department meeting, or department reports. The reason being is Michaela is on her way and she's running a couple minutes late, and in deference to her making the trip over to talk to us about the contract, I thought we ought to do it that way. So, department heads. Augie.
Yeah, we've been very busy with early voting and vote by mail, and I've got some numbers from last night. We have 669 early votes, that's in person, and then we have 683 vote by mail. So that's 1,352 ballots that have been cast.
Does he know how they voted?
Do what?
I was wondering if you know how they voted.
Well, I can't tell you that now, Bud.
Well,
after the
thanks,
meeting.
Augie, I'll ask you one question.
Now, I get asked every day, multiple times, how does that compare to past elections? Well, the only accurate way to do that is to go back to the 2018 election when there was a governor's race. So I did that, and there were 1,108 early votes in person, and only 228 vote by mail. But when you add those together, for all practical purposes, it's the same. It's just shifted,
That's amazing.
yeah. And that turnout back in the 2018 was 52%.
It wound up being 52%, right?
Yep.
That's not good, is it?
Well, half is better than,
Yeah.
Well, I realize half's better than none, but still, you'd think in this type of year, there, people would get themselves to the polls,
right.
wouldn't you? This is a pretty big year.
We encourage everybody to get out and vote. There's 12,000 registered voters in the county.
Well, they're working hard at it, got 1,000 of them.
So basically 10% is where he
11%.
voted.
Yes.
And nationally, about 10% have voted. It's kind of weird, a little bit more than 10% nationally.
That's good. Guess it's not as important as we thought.
Well, yeah, it's not over yet.
Well, those that don't vote don't care.
Yeah, but everybody else pays the price whether they care or not. I guess they like $7 gas, I don't know.
What else, Augie?
The other thing, election-wise, is we're working also now on the April 3rd consolidated election for next year. Petitions are out, they're circulating, there's just a lot going on in the election world.
Does that include the city of Paris and?
Yeah, the cities, the villages, school boards, they will file December the 12th through the 19th. So we get a lot of questions on that election, so we're busy. And we are gonna be open Saturday to vote, this Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon. We're not required to, but we're going to.
I know you had a question about Sycamore coming in, using the driveway. Did you get an answer to that, figure out they're not gonna be interfering?
Yeah, no, I think they've come and gone already.
Okay.
They did that yesterday.
Well, I read the thing that said something about November 8th doing something.
Yeah, that, when they were supposed to finish everything up by November the 8th, get ready for the switch over.
So they've already done all that.
Well, they haven't done it all, but the heavy equipment has come
So there's
in.
not gonna be an issue on the driveway, as far as you know.
No,
They're not gonna do anything on the 8th now.
Okay.
They're gonna- Not, since it's election day, they're gonna skip that day.
and it's actually, it's the weekend where I need not be interrupted, because I'm in and out all weekend hauling out equipment. And, but they told us they would
No,
not
there shouldn't be
interfere.
anything that would be blocking your access
Yeah.
now. The access was only for them to be able to set those new equipment and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep, thank you for asking. That's all I have.
Well, I wondered if you could review for the board the next meeting and the meetings in December, because we're gonna have swearing in and all of that, just to give them a preview so they know what's going on.
So how
Come on
about
in,
if I
Becky.
update them on the 23rd? I wasn't prepared for those dates.
Okay, well,
I'm sorry.
that's all right.
Yeah, we're gonna
The
have,
23rd is really important and we need everybody
Thank
here.
yeah, we're gonna have a meeting, December 1 or the first Monday. It'd be December, I don't know when it is. Thank you. I'll find out, let you know.
I just wanted to give them a heads up.
Yeah, we'll have swearing in.
It'd be, well, it's a Monday, right?
It's gonna be a Monday.
Okay, that would be December 5th. Just kinda have that in your mind. It'll probably be 8 o'clock in the morning.
5/12/27.
And we've done it also at 8:45 before the meeting actually starts, so we might do that also, if
Whatever.
that's all right.
Just wanted to remind you that we had some extra things.
And that's an actual board meeting, not a study session.
It's an actual board meeting that's been on the calendar, yes.
There's nothing added to that, just the normal three? Is that right? Is that what you're saying? We only have the normal 3 meetings in December?
No, you're gonna have 4. You're gonna have 2 study sessions and 2 board meetings.
It's a swearing in and organization meeting
Okay.
the first Monday. And then the second Monday is gonna be a study session. And then the second Wednesday will be a board meeting.
Right,
Correct?
correct.
And then right before Christmas, we'll have another study session.
Oh, never mind. I got them all.
Okay, I just wanted to review it now and we'll review it again in 2-3 weeks, so
So the second study session is Monday, December 19th?
something like that.
Yeah, I don't have the calendar in front of me, but I
Which-
believe so.
Which meetings are at 9:30? The last one, very last one?
Yes,
Yeah.
So I'll be on.
otherwise they're all at 9.
Thanks.
I'll send you a text.
Make a motion that we make all meetings at 9 o'clock. Second?
No, you're out of order,
It won't be the last time.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Becky brought in some new claim forms. And they're blank as far as the date is concerned, so you can take these with you, jot down your meeting dates and times, and then turn that in at the next board meeting.
Well, it's the first one in December.
I'm sorry, yeah. So I'll just set these here,
Is that it, Augie?
that's all I have.
Josh, you got anything on, how are we doing on getting the state data and people off our butts?
We sent in their questions and I'm just waiting to hear back from them again, so I'm still,
Okay.
auditors going back to them one last time to make sure they're happy with everything.
Okay, so that's
Jill
going full
Jill and
cycle,
Janet answered their questions and I'm just waiting to hear back again this morning.
make sure they're satisfied. Thank you. Tom?
Not a lot of new news at the airport. Our taxiway project did finally finish up. Everybody's happy about that. Trying to get ready for snow. Our snow plow is needing a little work, which we've been doing. That's about it.
We went out and looked at some ATVs, and there's not a lot of stock out there. We're waiting for some more folks, units to come in, but Tom and I looked two different places, right?
Yes.
Okay, we have a meeting tomorrow morning at 9:30.
9:30, I believe it is.
9:30.
We have two meetings, one at 9:30 and one at 11.
Okay, sure.
Great.
The 9:30 meeting is just a walkthrough by the state to look at the taxiway, so that's just a formality. The other meetings, the preparation for the Plaza installation.
Okay, all right.
For the one?
Plazas, don't ask me, it's a landing aid for pilots. Lets them know they're on the correct glide slope as they approach a runway.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
Yes,
Instead of landing in the field.
So is that like a project for next year, the year after, or future?
it's coming up soon. It will replace the equipment we now have, which is old and out of date. And the Plaza is being replaced by a Pappy.
And we do have a grant approved and all it's approved and funded, and
Yes,
so we're gonna, it hasn't been bid out yet though, right?
correct.
So
This
it's,
is what they call a pre-design meeting, which the state requires to make sure that the i's are dotted and the t's are crossed.
okay. Any other questions of Tom? Do you have anything, Aaron?
Our Plazzies and Pappies we're hoping to get that done this week.
Is this a joke?
Well, the board there was, but the board's pretty interested in getting lower T stripes, so we're trying to get that.
Nice road, by
It's
the
just
way.
stripes, it's not
Looks like-
Plazzies or anything, but
You can go really fast now.
no, don't say that.
You don't need them, because it's not landing.
Well, some people. Depends on who you talk to. On weekends, there's quite a bit of that.
I haven't been down there the last 2 weeks, but basically you're done except for striping.
And restoration, the reason I was late is because I had a constituent that had me cornered on the restoration. There's
What's
lots- Dan has some
restoration
interest
mean?
in- Restoration is your rock and your seating and
They did a nice job.
New driveways?
I wanted
driveways.
them to-
Driveway, yeah.
We're sure feeling a lot of bruisings on that, but we kind of expected that.
Looks good to me.
Like give Aaron a compliment.
No, but I drive that road
Wait a
every day. It
minute.
looks like he done
Wait till
fine.
lunch is
Tell
done.
him to kiss off.
Well, it doesn't work this for me.
Dan, did you have something?
Yeah, I'd give Aaron a compliment on the mowing. on the
Hey,
lower
hey,
tee.
Hang on.
Mowing on the lower tee really looks good, as all the other days.
Well, you were getting a compliment here, Aaron. I wanna make
Yeah,
sure you
give me a
heard it.
compliment.
From Dan?
The
Yeah.
mowing really looks good on the
It
lower
was,
tee.
we gotta make sure that's on tape and writing.
Thanks,
Just the
Dan.
overall project is
Pass that along.
good.
Looks good.
It is.
Good, glad everybody's happy. I don't think we're gonna quite get done this year, unfortunately, and that's got a lot of people upset, but. I mean, it's gonna be done for all practical purposes for the traveling public, or for the folks that aren't that pleased with, stuff working in front of their houses. There's gonna still be some stuff going there, it looks like. Because the weather catches it, it gets wet, stays wet and cool.
Well, and the state has certain requirements that you can't
Yes,
do
sir.
certain things
Yes, sir.
after a certain date,
We're
so.
past seating dates, and we're past striping dates, we're gonna try to use temporary.
Oh, yeah.
We'll fill the time up there. Plazzies and Pappies, we're gonna have them, this week, per the board's request, it's been passed along, we've been trying our hardest to get the Plazzies and Pappies in there for this winter.
You know, when you try a joke twice, it usually doesn't work.
We try to what?
A joke twice, it usually doesn't work.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think you were caught it.
Thank you, Aaron. Very enlightening. Angie, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, how are you?
Good.
I just have one thing, I hired a full-time person, Tracy Watson, and she's awesome, and I hope she stays. We're trying to be nice to her for stuff.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah, Deb's wife. And thank you for, somebody patched a hole at the end of our driveway.
Don't-
You hear that, Dan?
I think it was you. Not you, but your people.
We Well, you're welcome.
Go ahead.
That's all.
But are there any questions of Angie?
I assume Tracy's replacing someone that left the office.
Holly Cheney left in
Yeah.
March.
Yeah. So it's just replacing her.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I might want to note that I got a call because it has to do with your floor, the judges, the second floor. We're gonna put Wi-Fi up there so the attorneys will have access to it without a passcode or password up in the library and in that general area. It'll be based out of the probation office.
Fantastic.
So Judge Sullivan called me yesterday and I got with Ross and we worked stuff out so that we had problems. We had done password protected and then everybody gave out the passwords and it was just nuts. So we're gonna restrict it another way. So we'll move on with that. Let's see, did I miss? I don't think I missed any department heads. We'll go on back to the resolution on number 10 on construction manager. We kind of veered from the course waiting for you, Michaela.
Thank you. Did
No.
you receive my email this morning?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yes, we did.
Sorry about the delay.
Okay. Well, we're to the portion of the meeting number 10, a resolution to award construction manager at-risk services to Core Construction for the new Edgar County Public Safety Facility and authorize the county board chairman to sign all agreements. Michaela, did you have any statement, anything you wanted to discuss?
I don't have any points for discussion. I don't have anything to say besides thank you for your consideration. Thank you for having us. Thank you for this partnership. Really, truly happy about it and excited to go.
We appreciate it. Josh and I sent out our contract, and one of the things we got back was some concerns about the insurance coverage, and the Corps is increasing the liability, general liability from $2 million to $5 million. And there was no argument about that, they went ahead and did that. So that has been the only thing that we had updated from anybody that we consulted on the contract. Michael had some concerns, and there was another part of the contract that dealt with his concerns, so you know of anything else?
No, I don't think anything else has changed at all.
Okay, so are there any questions of the board? Is there a motion to approve the resolution, please? Russ moves, Andy seconds. Further discussion? Mr. Clerk?
Ellis,
Yes.
Farnham,
Yes.
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
and Bruner.
Yes.
It is approved. You are, as soon as we get the final version, we will get it signed and emailed back. We'll have to do an e-signature on it, correct? And then that'll be back. All right.
We'll all be here just for that.
Did you have anything that you wanted to talk about this morning?
Me personally?
No. Nothing? You just came to visit us? All right.
On the roof project, are we gonna have any assistance on that, or is that be the?
We already have a signed contract with
Core?
Core on the roof project.
Okay.
They're waiting for Michael to get a couple things that they need for the elevator and the roof to finalize.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. You know, naturally, when there's more than one party involved, there's a little bit of volleying that goes back and forth. So we'll send over things, we'll wait, then Michael will send things, then he waits on us, and it's just back and forth. So there's just a couple items, I believe maybe 2 or 3, and as soon as those get sent over, we can move forward.
You might, request those or, remind him.
Oh, yeah.
I remind him every other day. So if
We communicate regularly, Michael and I do, and I send those gentle reminders, I call them.
The priority item here, the first priority item was to get the information to Coles County so they could finalize our USDA.
The grant,
And
yes.
it is finalized. I don't know whether it's been sent or not.
I
So-
think you said some stuff to him, I think.
Yeah,
So-
so we're very close. That was number one priority.
Yes.
Number two priority is the roof. And at the same time, working with Core and Michael to reduce and look at what we actually need for the jail. One of the big questions recently was, does ESDA need to be in the jail? And my answer to them at this point was no, that we would remove ESDA from the jail. We met yesterday with, I'm taking this kind of out of order, I'm sorry. We met yesterday with IEMA. IEMA is giving us the criteria so that we may be able to use our newest acquisition as part of ESDA because he feels that it does meet the criteria. And we could put that in the new building, well, that we're acquiring. And they would be able to supply, yes, they would be able to supply us with a generator, a full-size generator to operate that building. They would be able to update if we needed any phones and make sure that we had some of the infrastructure. They would help us better that, and they have funds for that. They do not have funds to do brick and mortar, but they can do other things that will help us outfit a building that would benefit everybody.
Right.
And they're willing to do that.
That's definitely a value add and to offset cost, right? That's
Yes.
cost effective.
Right,
Very
and they
much.
are working
So
it-
that's why we know.
Right, the Michael and Sean are working at some other reductions, and they've made other reductions in the size. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Supposedly, we're supposed to get that by the beginning of next week, start to see some of that, and you will see that,
Great.
okay? They
Yes.
were obviously waiting for us to have a contract,
In place.
and
Yeah.
I'm sure you're interested in having that also, so. But that's kind of where we're at on the elevator. We're still looking to bid out the roof system in December, at the very latest January. And they're not gonna be working till spring anyway, so we've got time, but we need to get some of this other stuff going, so. And the elevator question, and how this puzzle all fits together on where everybody's gonna be, so. So, at any rate, since we're on it, are there other questions about it? Okay. So, you didn't have anything, it's good to see you anyway, Callie, so. I guess we'll move into committee reports. Daniel?
I really have nothing. I think I explained on Monday what was going on out there, and the new employees working out very well, and they're gonna basically clean out the shelter and a lot of stuff that need to get rid of, so. Still have quite a few animals, and she said something about she's gonna have some type of adoption fair or something coming up in next week or two, so everything's working out very well.
Okay, any questions of Dan or his committee? Andy?
Nothing in addition to what I said Monday, so, nothing this week. No.
We will need a closed session, a brief one, just to keep everybody up to date on where we're at on any acquisitions that we've got going on. Mr. Ludington?
No. You heard my feelings, I'm not talking anymore.
Hey, that's easy to do.
Will this last for how long?
5 minutes.
Next smile, remark right
Hurry
here.
up, go Russ.
Russ? Carl?
No.
Lisa?
I've been in email conversation with Tara Hopkins, whose current title is now NRCS from Soil and Water. And she had provided to the Short Sands group the natural resources inventory report, which on the existing, the approved solar project just north of Kansas, not surprisingly, it identifies all that crop ground as highly prime.
Naturally.
Yeah. And it's a nice report. I'd be happy to share it with anybody who wants. A lot of it is boilerplate, but there's also then customization in it. No surprise on what it says though. And three sides of it have old growth forest that, of course, NRCS advises them against destroying. They can't tell them not to, they can only advise. And her point of contact, Ryan McQuigg was my point of contact during the sales portion, but apparently the project manager, which I'll get clarification on, is Svetlana Megeva. I'm sure I butchered that.
Gymnast.
And her address is Boston. So Tara also said that, instructed Svetlana to provide the AMA report, which is the state's assessment, to Tara, and then I'll get copied on that. So, with this first time around, we're just trying to figure out who gets what information and where it's housed. So things are going according to schedule. I think I copied you on that. So you have a new contact too, and if I didn't, please let me know.
Yeah, I think I'm on still have your email address. That's what is happening quite a bit. So take note if you're sending emails, I'll still do it.
So that's all I had that I didn't have yesterday.
Have you had any more contact from this other wind or solar
Not a
farm?
word.
And do you know where it's
No, I do
located?
not.
Probably the Kansas area, but you don't know for sure?
I didn't ask
Okay.
at that point.
Any other questions of Lisa? I've got Don's report here. I should have said something about it earlier. I think it's self-explanatory. He's put some notes at the bottom. We'll do another distribution around mid-November. Notice the CD rates he got on several different amounts. Let's see.
Do you know if wasn't he going in the last couple weeks, check with the banks around the county?
He did that very effectively.
Okay.
We got a couple that weren't interested, but most of the banks bid.
Okay.
They wanted the money.
Okay. Well, I know 911, we talked about that at our last meeting, and they knew that Don had been off for a week or two, but I just wondered if he got that done, because he was looking for some different rates for us, a couple different
He had
cities.
talked to me about it, but he didn't say, Jeff, I got them
Yeah.
done too. He was.
But he was looking.
looking.
Well, he
at-
probably got that taken care of.
I would think so. I don't think he was gonna combine ours,
Okay.
in any way, but he was gonna see what he could get for them also.
Okay,
I'll ask him when I see
all
him.
right.
And of course, we've got no state payments at this point, because we're just at the 2nd of November, so. At any rate, it's pretty straightforward. We'll get a copy of the budget updates at the next meeting on the 23rd. That'll do a better job of explaining where we're at, and we'll have another sheet like this that will give you where we're at also, okay? Most of my stuff would be confined to the closed session on land acquisition and contracts, so. Motion to go in, is there any other comments from anybody in the audience? All right, I'd accept a motion to go into closed session for acquisition and contracts. Andy moves, Russ seconds, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. We will be going into exec session here in a couple minutes. Michaela, I'm glad you made it. It was kind of
Anybody want to come back in?
You got it? Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me to get up and go, is that what you're suggesting? Boy, it didn't work, did it?
It's running.
We're back in open session, closed session is over. Dan, did you have something you wanted to bring up to the
About a
board?
month ago, there was a lady asked about the time capsule supposedly buried by the fountain on the courthouse lawn. And she wanted to know if it could be, if there is one, dug up and opened, I think it was April next year because of the centennial. So I don't know how you'd find out if there is one there, I don't know. But she wanted to know about it, so I said I'd check on it. So,
There's a marker there for one, right?
I think there's a,
There's a marker, I believe.
that might be it then.
Okay.
well, we need to get back with the city and get moving on this if we're gonna do something in April, because that's not much
I
time, the
thought
way
that
time
was
goes
already
by.
done.
Or you thought it had already been?
I thought it had already been opened, yeah.
John Carrington's wife was the one who was asking about it. I don't know, I told her I'd check on it.
Cause it was done in 76.
At the
77? Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. I
You
remember it
could-
did a,
You could also
Drawing to put in it.
refer it to that guy that came to see us.
You did?
I can't think of his name right now.
Roger Stanley,
Yeah,
I was gonna
Stanley,
say
Roger Stanley.
Okay.
He'd be one that might be
he'd
able
know, or
to.
someone at the Historical Society, someone's gonna know the
Right.
details.
I didn't get a chance to talk to the mayor the other day about it, I should have, but
no wonder you're grumpy.
I told her I'd check on it.
All right.
Okay.
anything else to come before the meeting today? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Russ moves, Andy seconds, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay, we're adjourned.
Guys, we will, somebody run those today?